I should warn you, I have a lot of energy today. I know I hear all the time, Sophia, you always have a lot of energy, but I have extra energy today. So I'm going to encourage you to buckle up, settle in, maybe grab that extra cup of tea or coffee or water or whatever supports you. Get comfy for this conversation. And before we do, I want to make sure that you are where you intend to be, which is the Core for Coaches, Core for Coaches LinkedIn Live. I love doing this. I'm here, as you know, every Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern. So thank you for coming to Core for Coaches. And I love to remind us of what does CORE stand for. You know, I'm an acronym lover. So CORE stands for Collaborative Opportunities Rising for Everyone. And I love to do rising like that because that is how you say rising in ASL. So some of my graduates who are in the deaf community, who are deaf, they have supported us so much by teaching us a little bit of ASL. So I'm excited to learn even more this year. So I also want to say Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I'm just going to take a little bit of, I'm going to slow down a little bit when I say that again. Happy New Year. I invite you to take some deep breaths too. Take some deep breaths. I love the saying with each breath, there is new life. So I'm going to encourage you to just bring in some new life energy into your space today. So Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I've talked to a number of you and you have shared the roller coaster called 2025. I've shared parts of my roller coaster too with a lot of you, the other parts with my therapist, the other parts with my coaches. So I know 2025 was just that. It was a roller coaster. And even if 2025, went exactly like you wanted it to be, there's still this thing called life. There's still this thing called shift happens, right? I did put the F in there. Shift happens. And so I just want to encourage you to just take some deep breaths and think about, what are you grateful for related to 2025? What are you grateful for related to 2025? Okay. This is not my attempt to polish it up or to do some toxic positivity, because let me just say, here in the grand country of the US of A, it has been tough. It has been tough. And I want to say also thank you so much to all of my international friends and colleagues and coaching besties and our graduates, and just thank you. My family, thank you so much for reaching out to me and just encouraging me because I certainly needed it in 2025 and I still need it in 2026. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I appreciate, I love connection. So thank you for the connection. So Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I'm going to ask my team to put what I'm grateful for in the chat. So I'm grateful for tons of things. I do gratitude journaling almost every day. So I'm always getting present to what I'm grateful for, even in the midst of storms. Yeah, that's a good word to call for me to call my 2025 storm. So what am I grateful for? At the highest, I am so grateful for my relationship to my divine team. I'm grateful to know that there is a divine team. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful and connected to that. I'm grateful for my upbringing. I'm grateful to have had a grandmother and a grandfather and great-grandfather and great-grandmother and my parents and aunts and uncles who are clear about the benefits of knowing that there is a divine team. So I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for all of that prepared me for such a time as this. I'm also so grateful for my family. One of them's right here in the chat. I'm so grateful for our sophomore now, our college sophomore, Josh Casey. Thank you so much for riding with your mother. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And I should say Coach Josh, because he is a graduate of our level 1 program. I am so grateful for Mr. Casey. I'm so grateful. I'm gonna make sure that he listens to this later. I am so grateful. You know, there's so many things I'm grateful for about him. One of the things that's at the top of my list is that he just like, he embodies joy, like almost like all the time. It's rare that I see him down or we see him down. And you know what? That is something. That is something. So I just thank you. I just thank you for embodying joy and sharing that joy with me, sharing that joy with Josh. So he's going to be surprised that I did that, but I mean it. I am so grateful for the ability, the skills, the desire to do the work that I've been purposed to do. I'm grateful for that. You know that there are so many people, there are thousands upon thousands of people in the world who can't say that, who can't say, I love my job. Well, let me know. Are you one of the people who can say? If so, put in the chat, I love my job. I am grateful to be able to say, I love my job. I love my job. I love what I do. I am grateful for an incredible team at ICLI Rising. My goodness gracious, I could not do this without them. Could not do it. And even if I could, I don't want to. I am so grateful for every single member on our team, our instructors, our mentor coaches. I'm grateful for our training coordinator, Maria Elena Valencia Renteria, who keeps it all going. I'm grateful for our administrative team members. I am just so grateful, so very grateful. And I'm going to say I'm grateful for myself. I'm grateful for my role as Director of Leadership and, Director of Learning and Development. What's my title? And also as Chief Empowerment Officer of ICLI Rising. I'm grateful for those roles. Grateful, grateful, grateful. Right now, I'm grateful for this beautiful mug that my fraternity brother, Coach Eddie, gave to me. I'm grateful for the reminder that is on this mug. Do you see what it says? Trust the process. Trust the process. It's a little cold here on this eastern coast. So I'm grateful for the space heater that's on my feet. I'm going to turn off right now. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm so grateful. So very grateful. And I would love to give a huge shout out. Oh, you're welcome, Coach Josh. He says, thank you. A huge, huge, huge shout out to a group of incredible and hardworking, community loving, focused, beautiful, brilliant women. I am talking about my sorors of the best sorority. You know, I had to say it. The best sorority, Delta Sigma Theta. I want to say a huge, huge happy Founders Day to my sorors of DST. Yes. Hey, where are my sorors? If you are a member of Delta Sigma Theta, if you are so blessed to be a Delta, I want you to put that in the chat. Also, I want to hear from my D9 sisters and brothers, because this week we are celebrating lots of D9 Founders Day. So we're celebrating AKA, we're celebrating Z5, Zeta 5, don't beat me up, Z5B, I'm sorry. So we're celebrating a lot. Sigma Gamma Rho, we're celebrating a lot. So I want to just do a huge shout out to also my D9 sisters and of course my D9 brothers. Big shout out to my fraternity brothers of Omega Psi Phi. Okay, I wanted to take that time. To just slow down and give you an opportunity and myself an opportunity to just welcome in this new year and to welcome in gratitude. Gratitude. I get asked all the time, Coach Sophia, how did you build a successful coaching business? How did you build these other businesses? How is it that you're successful? How do you get clients and all of that stuff? And of course, I'm always happy to share. I'll continue to share just as I did last year. One of the biggest contributors. So write this down. If you're a note-taking person like me, I would write this down. One of the biggest contributors to my success as a coach has been gratitude. I know it's not all shiny and fancy, it's not a ebook or some brilliant type of strategy document, but it works, and it has worked. So would somebody put that in the chat for me, please? Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Gratitude is part of my business strategy. And it's more than just like being grateful. Being grateful is great, but the way that it has supported my business is, there are times where, the clients may not be flooding in. There may be times where you have a lull. And what I have learned is that by being grateful every day, doing gratitude journaling, doing my prayer time and my meditation, and all of that is really like self-love. And all of that is pouring into my tank. So it's fueling me. So when I'm at those high moments, yes, thank God for the high moments, when I have the amount of clients that I want to have, when I'm getting to do the things that I love and that are in my zone of genius, like coach training and speaking, when I'm at that high point, I'm being grateful. And what I'm doing is I'm filling the tank, right? So that when I do have those low moments, as we all do, and Lord knows I had a lot of them last year, but when I have those low moments, as we're on this entrepreneurial roller coaster, my tank is still filled. So I can dive into that filled tank of gratitude, of gratefulness, right? I can reflect on my gratitude journal pages and see all the blessings that I've experienced in my business and in my personal life, and just reflect on that. I actually did that towards the end of last year. Honest to goodness. So I just went back into my journals, and I have tons of, I love journals. Anybody else love journals? I love journals. And it's not just because I created one, but I love journals. So I just flipped back right through the pages, and oh my goodness, I got really emotional. Because I know, I am clear that I am anointed. I am clear that I am blessed. I am clear that my companies have been so blessed. And at the same time, I have forgotten a lot of the blessings that I experienced. So to go back and just flip through those pages and see those long list of all the things I was grateful for, I'm telling you, yeah, it was a tear-jerker moment, and it was tears of joy. So this is not what I planned to come talk to you about, but it is on my heart to share this with you. And I do know that, some of you who have reached out to me, and you shared that, like, it's not over. You're still having a challenging time. I get it. I want to strongly encourage you, even in the midst of that challenging time, and I'm talking to myself too, even in the midst of that storm, to still be grateful. There's still something that you can be grateful for. I love this quote that I see all the time that says something to that effect. Like, there's always something to be grateful for. We just have to look around. We just have to take some time and pay attention. Like, I'm grateful. Have you all been watching, these wonderful, beautiful monks on their pilgrimage up here to the Washington, D.C. area? I'm grateful for them, that they care enough about peace to do that walk. And I think last I saw they were walking, the total journey was something like 2,300 miles. Oh, good Lord. I walk 1 mile and I'm like, Jesus, help me. I know. My health coach is going to get me for that. But yes, so I'm grateful for them. I'm grateful for all the people that have been coming out to see them and connecting with them, and also saying, yes, I will be a champion. I will be a champion for peace. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm grateful for a peace that passes understanding. Like, how can you have peace in the midst of the storm? I'm grateful. I don't even have to figure it out. I'm grateful for it, though. All right, so I'm going to check in with you all. So like I said, I didn't plan on coming to talk about that, but yes, I did. So Josh says, I am grateful for a wonderful mentor coach. All right, Mr. Josh. Okay, I encourage you to share that with your mentor coach. I'm grateful for a mentor coach. Malik says, gratitude. Yes, gratitude. So if I haven't called your name, it's just because I can't see you yet. So please continue to drop in the comments. And if you're watching this on the replay, put it in the comments still. What are you grateful for? What are you grateful for? And with today, I am grateful that I get to spend some time with you continuing our conversation around the ICF core competencies. So you may remember, or you may not, because we had this whole holiday time. I don't know about you all, but I truly took off. So maybe you don't remember, so I'll refresh your memory. So at the tail end of last year, I had just kicked off a series around the updated ICF core competencies. So still talking about the core competencies, bringing that into this year. I now want to share just a few nuggets around core competency number 3. Anybody know what core competency number 3 is? I'll wait. So establishes and maintains agreements. And as I was thinking about this core competency, yes, I'm certainly going to always come and give you some nuggets, some gems, some things to think about, some training, some tips, some tools, some templates, like all the T's. I'm always going to do that because of my love for you. And as I was thinking about today's conversation, and as I was preparing to offer you something around core competency number 3, establishes and maintains agreements, do you know what came on my heart? What came on my heart is, yes, so we can certainly talk about it in terms of our coaching work, us coaching clients, us coaching our coachees, absolutely, us coaching teams, us doing group coaching. So yes, we can certainly talk about core competency number 3 in that regard. But what came on my heart was, what if we connected it or related to core competency number 3 for ourselves? Ooh, I'm gonna leave that right there for a moment, just so I can check in with you all. Give me just a moment. Want to make sure I can see some comments. Okay, so I started thinking about, what if I related to this core competency number 3 and this conversation around establishing and maintaining agreements as identified by the International Coaching Federation, ICF, what value could that bring for me and my coaching business? So of course, I'm thinking about me, I'm thinking about you. So I want to offer you some nuggets, but in this conversation, I'm also inviting you to think about it, not just from a standpoint of you coaching someone, but also from a standpoint of looking over here. How are you establishing and maintaining agreements with yourself? Oh, that's a word. That is a word I didn't even expect. Oh my goodness. How are you? And I'm going to ask my team to put that in the comments. How are you establishing and maintaining agreements with yourself? With yourself. I don't know. I've just been having this fun time of thinking about these core competencies. You know, I'm a coach trainer, coach educator, assessor, mentor coach, all those things, right? So I'm always thinking about the ICF core competencies. I know I'm such a nerd. That's what I'm thinking about. Instead of going to the party on Friday night. Anyway, so I started to think about like not just this core competency, but what if we thought about all 8 core competencies through the lens of WIIFM? What's in it for me? What is the benefit to me professionally, certainly, but personally too, for me to embrace these core competencies? So think about it as I go through some nuggets just from that lens. I'm inviting you to do that as well. So today what we're talking about is clarity. Core competency number 3, a big part of establishing and maintaining agreements is around clarity. Clarity. And I don't mean like the rigid type of clarity, but the kind of clarity that supports clients with moving with intention instead of spinning. So as a coach educator, as a mentor coach, as a coaching supervisor, something I hear all the time from coaches is, or a question I get all the time from coaches is, Coach Sophia, my client is just like all over the place when they come to the coaching session. Like, how do I hone it in? How do I hone them in? And I have many answers. I should say I have a layered answer to that, but I'm just going to offer you a few things to consider. So I get that question all the time. Well, how do I do that? Because when they're coming into the coaching session, they're talking about this. They tell me what they want to work on. Okay, I want to work on creating a table of contents because I keep putting it off. I keep procrastinating. So by the time we wrap up today, I want to have identified the contents of my table of contents for my new book. So they are clear, kind of, on what they want to work on. And then they start to morph into talking about building a purple poodle grooming salon. That's my favorite example. I don't know where I got purple poodles, but anyway, so then they morph into talking about building, or their lifelong dream of building or having a purple poodle grooming salon. Okay. Then they start talking about, what happened at work last Wednesday, which also reminded them of their cousin Tay Tay. So they start talking about their cousin Tay Tay. So here's the thing. The first thing I want to offer you, besides thinking about this core competency for yourself, is I want to offer to you to practice grace. Oh my goodness, I hadn't planned on saying that either. Will somebody put the word grace in the chat for me? Hello, Coach Martha. Thank you for being here. The word grace. So I want to encourage you to not come from a place of judgment, because, I listen to, can you imagine how many recorded coaching sessions I've listened to and how many coaching practices I've observed. And a lot of times I hear or feel this energy of judgment. So when the client starts to veer off and go over here and then over here and over here, sometimes as coaches, we can put judgment in the space. We can judge them like, that's not right. That's not okay for you to be over here and here and here and here and here. And what I want to offer you is something that's really, really, really supported me in becoming a very, very good coach, a very effective coach. Yes, I am. Is allowing some grace, just having some grace in the space, okay? Because when we're bringing in our judgments that, they should be doing this and they should stick to one thing and they can only have one thing. And I know some of my coaching colleagues and some of my coaching besties will not agree with me, and I'm okay with that. But as that client is exploring over here and over there and over here and over there, as Mel Robbins says in her book, let them. And at the same time, part of our role as coach is to support them with having what it is that they say they wanted. One way we can support them in having what it is that they say they wanted is to keep an eye out, is to partner with them in terms of accountability. Keep an eye out for, are they deviating from what it is that they said they wanted, what they wanted to accomplish in that coaching session, but also even beyond the coaching session. what they said they wanted to create or what they wanted to accomplish, right? So can we still do a both and? Hold on one second. This is bothering me a little bit. Okay, can they still, or can we also co-create a both and? A both and. So giving them space to explore, or maybe go over here and go over here and go over here and go over here and go over there. Can we do that? Thank you, Malik. I got your message. Can we do that? Can we be open enough and offer enough grace, and at the same time do our jobs in terms of keeping a watch for what it is that they said they wanted and whether or not they are really deviating from that? Okay, so that's the first thing I wanted to offer you, or actually it's the second thing. The first thing I wanted to offer you is to turn this core competency back to you. Okay, secondly, offer grace, some space, because here's the thing, here's the bottom line. The coaching conversation, the coaching room, the coaching environment belongs to them anyway. It's not even yours. It belongs to them. So let's offer them some grace. Okay, I want to just quickly, I'm going to offer you some more nuggets. So I shared before when we started this series last year that the ICF did roll out the updated core competencies. So the 2025 ICF core competencies. Yes, and I was on the task force to support that effort. I'm so grateful for that. Okay, grateful for that. And there's been a lot of conversation around the ICF changing a lot about the core competencies. There's not a lot that changed. But what did change, I'm grateful for. So specifically around core competency number 3, establishes and maintains agreements. There is more of a stronger emphasis on co-creating the focus. So yeah, that is part of our job. And notice I said co-creating. Said another way, partnering with the client, right? To support them with staying focused on their coaching topic, staying focused on their overarching goals, to stay focused and not defaulting to the first thing they say. So as I said before, I support a lot of coaches in terms of being their mentor coach. And one of the things I share with my mentees and really encourage them to pay attention to is sometimes our client will ask, oh, what's your coaching request for today? What do you want to work on? My coaching bestie says it. How does she say it? What's top of mind for you? Okay. So we'll ask for the coaching request, the coaching topic, how they want to be supported in that coaching session. I'm encouraging you to listen, and listen on a deeper level. Okay. And not necessarily defaulting to, okay, they just gave me the topic, so now we're off to the races, which is a lot of what I see. The coach will ask the client, oh, what is it that you want to work on today? What's top of mind for you? What would you like to accomplish? What would make this coaching session successful for you? The client will give an answer, and then the coach is off to the races asking questions, blah, 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 right? I'm encouraging you to take a deep breath. So as your client shares that coaching topic with you, take a deep breath and stay in the conversation with them around the topic. That can really support the client. It can support the client with getting clarity around, is this really what I'm after? Is this really what I want to focus on? So to just stay there, right there in the conversation. I'm going to ask my team to put some of these nuggets that I'm dropping into the chat. Okay. So to stay right there. So the first nugget I dropped and graciously gave to you is to encourage you to turn the core competency to you and to ask yourself, how am I establishing and maintaining agreements? Secondly, is to offer your client some compassion and some grace. So when they do come in there and maybe their energy is all over the place, that's the type of client I am. Just go ask my coaches. to still give them grace and not to judge them for that. Okay. And thirdly, not to be off to the races and default to the first topic that they share with you. Okay. I want you to dig a little deeper. I want you to get curious about that topic. Okay. So there's this clear distinction in the new 2025 core competencies around or between what the client is talking about and what they actually want to work on. Sometimes we assume the first thing they say is what they actually want to work on, and that may not be the case. Next, another nugget that I want to offer you is you can ask and check in about that topic throughout the throughout the coaching conversation. I know sometimes in coach training, we do offer like a suggested coaching structure that says, okay, do this and this and this and this. That's just a suggestion, right? That's just a framework, if you will. All right. That's just putting some frames around it. You create it the way that you want to do it, and you create it in a way that it supports the client. So you don't have to just pay attention to or ask questions about or get curious about or make reflections about the coaching topic and what they said they wanted to work on at the beginning of the session. You can do it throughout the session. So I'm going to encourage you to check back in with them throughout the session. Are they on track? Have they gotten what they came there to get? And what are you curious about in terms of what they have shared? Okay. Also, in the new 2025 core competencies related to core competency number 3, there's greater attention paid to maintaining the agreement as the session unfolds, as the journey and the work that you're doing with that client unfolds. So it's not just like a one and done. I got that topic. Okay, I'm off to the races, but also maintaining the agreement, being clear, both of you being clear about what it is that that client wants to achieve. And then lastly, one of the other highlights, if you will, in the 2025 core competencies is that language that there's this brighter light shined on language that honors the client agency and choice throughout the session. And that's what I mean by giving the client some grace. So maybe they came in and said, oh, I want to work on this specifically, right? You're going to take some deep breaths and pause, dig a little deeper to make sure that you're clear and that they're clear, right? And maybe they will change the topic a little later. Maybe they change it halfway through. Maybe they change it 3/4 of the way through. I have coaches ask me all the time, is that okay? Is that okay? They're supposed to just give me one coaching topic. Again, whose coaching session is it? Who is the owner of the coaching session? It's them. So if they bring one topic, they work through that topic, or even if they don't work through that topic, but then they bring another topic, can you stay in the role of coach and embody a coaching mindset that says, I will ebb and flow with the client, and at the same time, I'm keeping my eye out on whether or not my client has achieved what they said they wanted, because that's part of my job too, as their partner in this work. Okay, I could give you so many more things because I'm a nerd for the core competencies. I am a nerd for the core competencies. Okay, I just got a message from my team. Yes, Malik, we're doing just fine. I am such a nerd for the core competencies, but I am going to stop there. And of course, I am always teaching about the ICF core competencies, the ICF code of ethics, how to have a successful coaching business. I love this work so much. So I want to make sure that you connect with us at iclirising.com, because that's where you'll find like all the announcements about courses, programs, our certification programs. We're so proud. We are a level 1 and level 2 school, and soon level 3. So that's where you'll find all the information out. There is on our website, iclirising.com. I have something special coming down the pike in literally like a minute. So I've been creating these, what I'm calling right now, I'm calling them coaching shorts. That sounds funny, huh? Just like YouTube shorts, Thank you, Josh Casey, for teaching me about YouTube Shorts. So I'm making like these little snippet stories in hopes that they will support you with reflecting on your coaching, diving a little deeper around your coaching, and reminding you of what it means to establish and maintain agreements, what it means to embody a coaching mindset, what it means to honor ethical standards in this work, what it means to co-create trust and safety, what it means to maintain presence and listen actively and evoke awareness and facilitate growth. And I can go on and on and on. And I'm doing it in a fun way that really speaks to my heart. So we'll share more in just a moment about that. For right now, just stay connected with us at iclirising.com. All right, I'm going to check in on the chat just one more time. Thank you all so much for being here. I appreciate you so much. I'm so grateful for you. I am so very grateful for you, because I know you have other things you could be doing, right? And yet you chose to take time out of your day to come to Core for Coaches. And I look forward to having a wonderful, okay, thank you. That's my accountability partner. Letting me know you got to go. You got a client. I'm looking forward to offering even more resources, even more tips, tools, templates, training, all for you. More T's this year. My prayer for you is that 2026 is all that you want it to be, and even more abundance beyond what your mind can even imagine. I'm grateful for you. Ciao for now. See you soon. Bye. See you, coaches. Thanks, Malik. Thanks.